We will continue to kick off our meetings this school year with the Positively PWCS presentation. I am continually amazed by the innovative technology being used in our classrooms. Tonight's Positively PWCS highlights the work our schools are doing with Minecraft. That's right, Minecraft. Superintendent Dr. Waltz will introduce our presentation.
Thank you, Chairman Lateef and members of the board. As someone who has been a personal witness to high school students in an AP class at Battlefield High School using Minecraft, I'm very excited about tonight's Positively PWCS presentation. A.J. Phillips, our Director of Information Technology Services, is here tonight to share with us a little about what our students are doing in the classrooms with Minecraft. A.J.?
Thank you, Dr. Waltz, Chairman Lateef, school board members. I'd like to introduce to you tonight Timothy Cruz. He's our admin coordinator for instructional technology, and he's going to share with you our instructional technology vision and the impact that examples like Ms. Kramer does in the classroom. Tim?
Hi, good evening. So the mission of our office is always to build our capacity within our teachers so that all of our students in the division can have really powerful and deep learning in a way that challenges them to solve authentic problems, collaborate, and to communicate effectively and draw upon their own creativity. And through this work, we seek to develop all of our students into future-ready citizens. I am honored tonight to share with you and highlight one example of how student learning is being reimagined at one of our world-class high schools. I'm pleased to introduce Amy Kramer, History and Social Sciences teacher at Battlefield High School, to discuss how her students are leveraging virtual environments, as Dr. Waltz alluded to, Minecraft, for really true, deep, authentic learning.
Good evening. Thank you for having me this evening. I want to start with an observation. Education has had a love-hate relationship with gaming for many, many years. Our students are always on their cell phones playing this app or something else. They're glued to their Xboxes. This is the natural position of the teenage animal. I have started my journey with gaming, and I'm going to date myself here, with my Atari in the early 1980s. With my love affair of Pac-Man, and I stayed on that game until I reached the final level with only 3 lives. Thank you. And I have continued that love affair with gaming, and I have to admit this, even at my age, with my Nintendo Switch. So as an individual and as an educator, I began to ask myself, what is it about gaming that keeps drawing us in, or more importantly, our students? So I asked an expert in the field. I asked my 13-year-old daughter. And she said, Mom, it's simple. Gaming gives us the opportunity to overcome challenges, to beat the bad guy, to be sucked in by the story, and eventually succeed, to win. Light bulb moment, I said. Wait a minute, in my classroom, do I not challenge my students? Do I not set down obstacles? Do I not want them to succeed and to win? And so the Minecraft project was born. The idea that I had was simply this: my world is the ancient world. I bring my students all the way back to Paleolithic societies, cavemen, and I take them all the way to the Renaissance achievements of Europe. I don't want them to remember simple facts about one civilization or the other. I want to take them on the journey of human development. At the end of the course, do they understand what it was that made us who we are today? We advance, we develop, we invent new technologies. We see civilizations time and time again in the past develop sustaining civilizations that support a growing population. And so the challenge I laid down was, can my students build their own civilization from scratch? And thankfully, my expert 13-year-old told me the game was already obvious: Minecraft. And so I said to my students, in survival mode only, you must build from scratch a civilization that would be very similar to the Bronze Age and make it interactive. They took on the challenge and were more than excited. to build their Bronze Age civilizations in a virtual world where they engaged with one another, and they didn't disappoint. So I'd like to share with you that video, if we can. They began with agriculture, sustainable irrigated crops to support their small villages. But they go beyond that, as you're about to see. This small village also developed in the Bronze Age a temple, as you see to the left, to their own gods that they invented based on the nature and their environment that they built in. From there, they were inspired by Mesopotamian step pyramids to design them at the center of their civilizations based on their own unique characteristics invented, and built roadways to connect to the center of their villages. They even created interactive marketplaces full of merchants, artisans, Bronze Age metalworkers, doing the same thing they learned in class, but in the real world. They eventually developed and interacted through the trade systems that they saw and learned about in the classroom. They built citadels, fortified centers to protect and defend these Bronze Age civilizations, as they knew from class warfare was a common problem. And at the height of their achievement, they even went so far to build a Colosseum to entertain their own population and glorify their culture with fighters ready to engage at a moment's notice. What I take away from this project, not only the passion and the constant excitement that came to class every day as they built these worlds, is they didn't just learn what one particular ancient civilization did or another. They learned the story of human development over time. And they were given that challenge in that gaming attitude that they love so much, and they succeeded. So I would argue to you that gaming is not our enemy. In the right hands, gaming is our ally for education. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak tonight.